It's gonna be a heck of a race tonight, man. Heck of a race tonight. Who you going for, Austin? Who you going for tonight, man? Give me your pick tonight. I want to know your pick. I'm gonna hit. Let's see again. You're gonna go with tonight. I know. Yeah. Well, yeah. The names. Okay. Well, just joined. Well, you got Mike Bross on the pole. You got Parlay on the outside. You got It's Your Bro Chase in the lineup. You got Elvin Priest. You got Eto. You got Shovelhead. You got 19 millimeter. I mean, you got some heavy hitters in this league, man. Heavy hitters. You got some big names. You got Hamlin Nation. You've got, I think, Kari. Kari, I don't know if Kari got his power pack on, but you got going with Shovelhead. Good pick, man. Good pick. Shovelhead been rolling good, man. He's been rolling good, and he won over a kill switch. I think a week and last week or the week before, he got a win over at kill switch. So waiting on these guys here now. Give me 1 second. All right, we're still good.
I'm an idiot. I had my microphone on mute.
I was wondering where you went. I thought you figured you just
I
went
was
over
gonna
to the
say,
other side.
I apologize to anyone that's watching the stream on my end. I was gonna say the 48 of Cyogenic had absolutely checked out from the 78 of It's Your Bro Chase, but unfortunately the league's a go. This lobby is a no-go. I'm gonna have to try this again. I'm getting more invites here, so let's try this again. Hopefully we can get this one going. Hopefully my game doesn't crash again. So we got about 15 seconds here. And Flux AF has made a number change. The number that I actually expected him to run, he's actually in the number 7 car tonight. So we'll keep an eye on the 7 clock hit 0. Take 4.
All right, so we can go ahead and join on up.
Yep.
And I'll run through the cars, and we'll find, and we'll know what. Do you know what number Shovelhead is off the top of your head, Cindy?
Number 14.
14. He's in that 14 machine. Good number. Good number.
You can join now, Timmy.
I'm here. Alrighty.
Yeah,
Cross your fingers, folks.
Loading on in, cross finger. We're gonna be third time lucky, but only a fool would tell you it's a charm, though. It's a handy piece of advice to have. Third time lucky, but only a fool would tell you it's a charm.
We got our drivers here lined up. Well, lined up at the moment, they're gonna have to resort to their actual starting positions.
I only saw a hint of a lag, but
hopefully it'll smooth itself out.
Yeah, it looked like it smoothed itself out. I saw Nomad right as soon as I loaded in. I just saw a little tiny blip from Nomad, but looks like everything is smoothing out pretty well.
Backstretch not looking so good.
Smoothing out here, guys. Smoothing this out here. I think it's smoothing out a little bit.
Everyone getting to their assigned starting spots here through 3 and 4. Once again, Mike is your pole sitter. Parley on the outside front row in that 42 car. Cyogenic in the 48. Elvin in that 51 car on his outside in row number 2. 19mm in the top 5 that number 12 car. Black Cross. MFF Nomad. Shovelhead. Hamlin Nation. Flux. Looks like they're going to wave off.
Green flag.
They're going to wave off the green flag here.
And take another round.
So we go through the field here. This will at least give me a chance to talk about some of our our newcomers here. Once again, I've already talked about Cyogenic here, making his return to Phantom, who was part of the original Phantom cast back in 2021. He's got a 100% win rate with his 2 wins back-to-back in the 2021 seasons here, so he's looking to keep that percentage at 100 here as he's looking to go for the hat trick. And everyone's still trying to get sorted out. Here's the number 7 car. That's the Tommy Baldwin Racing Chevrolet of Flux AF. And I've raced with him quite a few times. He's a pretty decent racer, pretty good.
My first time seeing him tonight. Also, I've never seen Flux, so this is my first time going to be able to see him in action as well. So excited to see this.
And of course, Dan the Man, you've talked about him. Didn't quite have the qualifying effort he's looking for, so he is starting towards the tail with It's Your Bro Chase.
Man, I hope it's just my screen, man. I'm getting some I've seen some major lag.
I don't know. And they're
Think we're
waving
gonna
this
go.
one off as well. They were itching closer that time.
Yeah, I think they were seeing the little bit of a lag as well. So I think they're gonna go another round and hopefully let this thing smoothen itself out. And nope, they're backing on out now. Looks like at least a couple.
Yeah, 18's pulling off to the side here. The 1 car's already backed out.
Yeah. Yep.
Mike's
Go
backed
ahead
out.
and
Nomad
do
has
the
crashed into the inside wall. Heavy damage to his Chevrolet.
Oh, man.
This is what you really hope doesn't happen here, but unfortunately,
And
it looks like Ed's gonna try to host it this time.
And it's hit or miss, man. It's hit or miss. At FRR, we've had some nights where we had some pretty serious lag. We had about an hour-long delay one night.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, I don't even want to think about that. Oh my goodness.
That was a long pre-race report. I'll tell you that. It was a long pre-race report. But yeah, it took them about an hour before they were able to get locked in. But a couple of times, they'll hit it right on the first time. Sometimes, like last week, I think it took them two or 3 times. No problem, Austin. You take care, brother. I'll be seeing you soon. And you just pull it on up tomorrow and tune on in, Phantom Racing League, and watch this race tomorrow, brother. You have a great night. And then, but with the lag, it comes and goes. Sometimes you can get lucky and you hit it on the first one, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 or 4. Sometimes so.
All right, I'm gonna check in with Ed here. I think he ended his stream. Dang it.
He was the one and only stream too.
Yeah, I needed that.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a lap count or nothing. Or leaderboard.
Ed, this is Timmy in the booth. You got a copy? Can you give us an update of what's going on here?
We're having a lot of lag. I'm trying to create the lobby now. Get it going.
Alright, 10-4. So, what I saw before the stream ended was when Ed started the lobby, it looked like it kind of froze. Like right when the lobby, because usually like the lobby loads up, you're like the first one in there. I looked at the driver list, it was completely empty. It was a lobby of 0, which I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Oh man, yeah, that's not a good sign. That wasn't a good sign.
No.
Man. That's alright, well.
In the
keep digging.
meantime, this will give us an opportunity to talk about the bash. That'll be this Saturday.
Yes. And Billy announced the starting lineup. And before we get any further into that, I gotta ask Timmy. I gotta ask, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Well, my plan is to hopefully make it so I can broadcast the race. I don't know what my plans are for Saturday. I got some personal stuff going on, so that we'll see. We'll see if I'm able to make it.
Well, it's gonna be going on all day, man. The first heat kicks off at 2 o'clock Eastern, and pretty much the heats are gonna go. I think pretty much. Whenever if you're able to pop in at the last half of the main event, you just come right on up to the booth, man. That door is going to be unlocked and reserved only for Timmy, man. That seat's up there going to be for you any time that you're able to come up.
Clock has hit 0. Once again, folks, keep your fingers crossed. Let's hope this works.
And some toes. Come on, let's get it going. Come on, baby. Come on, Daddy needs a new pair of shoes.
I might need a new set of pedals here. Been staring at these Fanatec pedals for about an hour now. Goodness. Parley said something in the chat. He's saying, "Let's go." Yeah, Parley's very eager to get going. He's got a very good starting spot. He thinks he's got a good shot tonight. He doesn't want to wait around. Nobody wants to wait around.
No.
As
these guys are itching at
it's
the
a
bit.
heavy thunderstorm. As we are on constant rain delay here. We try to sort the lineup once again, and I want to talk about the number 32 car of Motorsports Fan. He's in the Go Fast Racing Ford here, and this is absolutely... I wish they had the car that he ran like the year before, where it had his full face on the front. He's running the number 32 Corvette parts Ford, which, by the way, I have no idea how that Corvette's part company has sponsored that team for years, when Corvette being a Chevy car and that team has been a Ford team for about as long as they've existed. So I've always thought that was very ironic.
You and me both. I thought I was the only one that picked up on that thing. I was the only one.
The moment they started sponsoring this team, I think way back when Joey Gase was the driver, but I wish they had the version of that scheme which was sponsored by Old Spice, A, and B, actually had the full face on, and this one's got the mask covering on it, which still kind of goofy in its own right, because you can see his eyes kind of peeking out a little bit there. Corey LaJoy, I've always liked that guy. He's got a very goofy personality. And I think this one's also a no-go as well. Black Cross out, Chase out, Ed out, Elvin out. My goodness.
These lag storms, man. Brutal. Brutal.
Hopefully, yeah, my stream's looking fine, thankfully. I'm trying a new setting for this stream. I did a test last night where I was spectating some, like, Talladega lobbies. I was trying to do the 60 FPS setting. And it looks a hell of a lot smoother.
Really?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't do anything higher than 720p from the PS4 natively unless I stream from a capture card, which I don't have.
Oh, okay.
I know some guys. I mean, I think the PS5 guys, they are able to stream at 1080p. But me,
All right.
on the old console, I'm streaming at 720, and that's about as high as it'll let me go. So now it's Chase's turn to host. So we'll see if the NASCAR Heat 5 gods are more gracious to him as the host. What? I overheard Ed say that this was a public lobby? I don't see it.
Yeah, sometimes I know I've heard that. It's one of the
YouTube Bro Chase
have
asked
more of that lag, where the public lobbies tend to have less lag.
Okay, I see it now.
So as long as they have it hosted to where somebody kind of tries to jump in, they can just boot them out real quick.
Yeah, it should be at the last page. You see It's Bro Chase is hosting. Once again, sponsored by Fanatec. Fanatec wheels, pedals, gear shift, the lot. Alright, tape. What is this, 5? I've lost count.
I have to. I think this is 5. Yeah, I think this is gonna be 5.
I'm amazed these guys are able to remember where they start. I probably would have forgot by now.
Are they already in?
Yeah, they're lined up. They're coming off of turn number 4 now.
Alright.
So once again, it is Mike Bross on the inside, followed by Parley on his outside, then Cyogenic Elvin 19mm. Green flag waves. Hopefully it stays green this time here at Chicagoland. Things are looking pretty good so far. 19mm almost got shoved there off of turn number 2 by someone that got loose. Cyogenic up to second as he gets around the 42 of Parley. You see Nomad and Elvin trying to make that outside lane work. As MJ Bross is going to lead the first lap. And that's right, folks. We got a green lap in. It looks like this race is finally underway.
Yep. Man, we're looking good, Timmy. We're looking good.
That's some very tight racing here. Up in the top 10. The only bobble I see is coming out of the 24 car, and that is Black Cross right there in 5th. Got passed by the 12 car. 19mm, shout out to him, who had a very good qualifying effort here tonight. He's up into the 4th spot at the moment.
Good beginning for 9mm, man. Good beginning for 9mm. Getting out there up into the front, up into that top 5. Wants a really good run tonight. Needs some momentum. Needs a lot. He needs a real good momentum. He needs a good finish, get some good momentum building up, and this is a perfect opportunity to do it, man.
And the difficult thing about Chicagoland, very much a one-groove racetrack. Like, you could try to run up in that middle groove. It could keep you up there. It's good as a defense mechanism, but you won't be able to make a whole lot of passes up there. So the fast way around is definitely around that bottom.
And these guys are doing exactly that, Timmy. They're in that follow the leader mode at the moment. But like we saw last weekend, as with the 24 is starting to make a move underneath of the 12.
That's right, Black Cross all the way down to the inside of the front stretch there, able to make the pass. He's going to bring the 18 car with him, that patriotic Skittles car, MFF Hamlin Nation. He's bringing his buddy Elvin with him in that 51 car.
9mm got caught up top there and had to let the train go by. He's going to tuck back in there behind Elvin. Going to drop back a couple of spots, but he knows he's got a good car. As long as he stays with this lead pack here, but he should be all right. He's sitting pretty good. Very, very experienced racer. He doesn't panic. As an 18 gets shuffled up to the top now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he got shuffled or if he almost looked like he meant to do that, trying to take wherever the momentum would take him there as he tucks back in line behind the 51. Actually, I think because the 51 was behind him earlier, now he is ahead of him, up into the top 5. Now sets his sights on the other red, white, and blue car of Black Cross and that Liberty Chevrolet. As he's peeking to the outside there, he's got only one car ahead of him, doesn't have to worry about checking up for this whole line right here on the bottom. And we got a pass for the lead. I've been talking about him at the start of the show. Welcome back to Phantom Cyogenic to the front.
And for shoots to the bottom, Mike Cross opened the door,
Ooh.
and Cyogenic just went through. It slides up and pulls a slide job in front of Mike Cross and Elvin, who's running that top line. Those two guys look like they're hooked up pretty good, trying to get that top line moving pretty well. Cyogenic, man, he's got some speed in that 48.
And Elvin and Mike are showing that middle groove there can still be a viable option.
That's what I like about Chicago, man, because he can get that middle groove run. Oh, the 48 got loose off of turn 4.
And you see all those cars on the outside. Mike, Elvin, Parley. As Sayo's going to slide back into the 4th spot. 2 cars side by side. The 18 of Hamlin Nation, the 24 of Black Cross. That is for the 5th spot. As both those cars getting a little squirrely down the backstretch. Now, a couple of things to look out for. I mentioned this at the pre-race, but the glitch had struck at Dover last week with Kari and Black Cross on the front stretch. Now, this track, it's probably an even bigger issue because you got like not one but even 2 glitch spots to look out for. One that I know of is the middle seam on the backstretch. That one's pretty easy to spot and get around, but turn 4, that's like right around where the car is moving up the track off of the corner and onto the front stretch. That's probably the one that these guys are really gonna have to look out for.
So they're headed towards it right now as we've got another change for the lead, and that's Elvin Freese in the 51.
We had just saw him crack the top 5, and now he has put his number 51 Chevrolet out in front.
You think he wants to get himself a win, Timmy?
Oh, absolutely. He has been getting with each race, he has been getting closer and closer. Because he's been one of the most consistent drivers on the year with top 5s in almost every start he's made. And we saw how fast he was at Dover last week. I thought for sure he had that race won. But yeah, so look out for that 51 car. Look out for that 42 of Parley. Tried to put the nose chopper on that 18 car, who's going to take the 2nd spot away if he can clear him. Doesn't quite have a big enough run. Mike gets up into the wall, bounces into the 12 car. Look out.
He's got a little dicey. I didn't know if he got loose or he got up into the wall.
As we check in with the rest of the pack here, I saw the 7 car of Flux get into the wall. And the 78 car of Itzebro Chase playing the patient game currently. He's not really making up a whole lot of spots at the moment, as he is tucked in behind the 32 car of Motorsports, who drifts up the track through 1 and 2.
Mike looks like he's really loose coming off the corner. He just came off of turn 2 and right on the last lap, but that was the same turn that he got into the side of the 12 and 9 millimeter, and that time off of turn 2 he got a little loose as well. So let's see how he does here next time.
Interesting, the 7 car of Flux pitting early, and the 1 car of Ed, though, something must have happened to him. As they see him up in the distance here, he's in danger of going a lap down here. But I think these guys still got a few more laps left before they're ready to pit. As the 18 and the 42 side by side once again, this time on opposite ends, with the 42 on the inside of the 18 this time, as everyone's gonna freight train around them, unless some guys are trying to decide where they want to go there. 24 was peeking there for a second. The 12 car ends up being the one to wash up right in front of the 48 of Cyogenic.
And last week, we were talking about Elvin Priest up here in the lead. Elvin, man, I think he was really bummed last week and let a win get away from him, man, because he was really excited about his car last week at Dover. Put a lot of time, a lot of practice time into it. He was really excited, really pumped up that he really thought that he could get a win, and he looked like he really could get a win. He led a good majority of that race. And I think it was kind of one that just got, the one that kind of got away almost. It slipped away out of his fingers a little bit. And he's come back here a little bit, really motivated, almost like he's a little bit on a mission, as he's starting to put a little distance now between second and third.
Look at this. Putting a
Very
gap
impressive
on the rest of the field here. That 51 car absolutely dominating early on. And now everyone else taking note of that.
That car looks really, really good. He's able to run this 51 pretty much wherever he wants. It'll stick wherever he puts it. It's going to stick. He's got this thing really, really dialed in and really looking good. At least here in the early beginning at stage 1, as we're probably going to be coming up on that green flag pit stop here, probably within the next several laps. But Elvin, so far, really impressive, shooting right out of the gate. And as you can see, those two guys, they're running 2 by 2 behind them. So he's going to try to pull away, even using that, as he's starting to put a little bit more distance on that pack.
A little bit, but as the rest of the pack was trying to settled amongst themselves, they were both racing each other pretty hard, trying to decide on who was going to get the 51's draft, and it looks like that score has finally been settled. It is the 18 car of Hamlin Nation that's the first to break free from that pack, and he's got a hold of that 51 draft. He is breaking away from the rest of this pack here as Black Cross moves up into third.
And here comes a 42 of Parlay down pit road. Parlay's coming down pit road now to make his
He's pitting early, so is the 8 car of Nomad. And also, got Dan the Man here in that number 34 car. He was actually part of that second pack, as was the 14 of Shovelhead. It looks like they had just caught up with these cars as everyone's looking to come in here.
Oh, Mike! Having trouble. Mike is around.
Car. He is in the grass. And he's going to lose a lot of time. Now, I should mention is that that pit entry looked very unconventional. It was actually announced, I think, last night that they were going to do a different pit road procedure for this race because of the lag, the glitch spot off of turn 4 and the possibility of these cars hitting that. So they're trying to do the pit entrance through turn 3 instead and just have him right around the apron. And that is nearly the whole field on pit road here is Parley. And he's got It's Your Bro Chase caught up to him in that 78 car. I'm not sure if he had pitted yet or not. So we'll see where the 42 car cycles out.
42 car, I think he pitted a lap before these other guys did, and it might have just worked out to his benefit.
Yeah, massive beneficial move there by the 42 of Parley. And look at the gap he has got on the rest of his competition. Now the question is whether or not the 78 car is pitted with him, because I didn't see him on pit road yet.
No, the 78 didn't pit with Parlay that I saw.
Maybe he pitted even earlier, I'm not sure. Now I did see someone pit, see Black Cross coming out here, I did see someone pit super early, and that was the 7 car of Flux, but he was much further back in the running order. I think something might have happened to him that caused him to do that. But as we try to get the running order situated here.
As Parlay played that absolutely perfect and pitted at the precise time, 1 lap before the rest of the leaders did. And you can see what that 1 lap pitting before, what that did, and the distance that he's able to put on, getting that 1 lap short pit on the rest of the field and the rest of the leaders. as he's now starting to put some distance between him and Bro Chase.
Meanwhile, we got ourselves a battle here a little bit further back here. The 12 car, 19mm, had just cleared 18 and the 24, and looked like the 18 had just got the spot back from Black Cross, but we see the crossover move taking place here. Oh, way down to the inside goes the 24.
Is that a signal?
No, it was not. I don't know what happened there. It looked like he had a bit of an issue there coming off the turn. I didn't see him make any contact with the 18.
No, I didn't. I was on him as well. I was right on that group as well. I didn't see any contact whatsoever. All of a sudden, he just pulled it to the left down onto the apron. Not sure exactly what the issue was or what had happened, but something just didn't feel right in that 24 car, and he just kind of pulled it off to maybe kind of get it settled underneath of him. I'm not sure, but it.
Shovelhead now going to the inside. The two FR drivers getting around that number 18 Toyota on the inside. Shovelhead continuing to make ground in that number 14 car.
As Shovelhead now passes the 18 of Hamlin Nation, and he's quietly moving his way to the front. Now up to, looks like, 4th position.
Yep.
Parlay is first, Bro Chase second.
I'm going to assume the
in
78 car might have pitted even earlier than the 42 did, considering he's now gapping the 78 of Chase.
I'm gonna have to say so as well, because if he didn't pit, he would be out of gas right about now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if not, we would have to inspect that fuel tank after the race.
Yes. That would definitely have to go to the R&D center.
We got, looks like a battle for second here between Elvin and Chase. Chase not gonna fight it here. He's just trying to hang on here as we got. I think we still got one more pit stop here. This stage is 39 laps long.
Yeah, and Bro Chase, pitting probably several laps earlier before the rest of the field, especially Elvin. Elvin pitted with the rest of those leaders at the same time with all those guys, that big group of leaders that came in. So Bro Chase knew that Elvin had, at least several laps of fresh tires, as Bro Chase just got up and gets the wall for good luck going into turn 1. I hope it gives him some, because it never happens to me when I do it.
Now remember, the 78 of Chase, he started shotgun on the field, started dead last heading into this race. Wasn't really making up a whole lot of ground as the 7 car fluxes around. I think he was trying to make it to the pits, because remember, he pitted early as well. Now I think the 78 might have intentionally had pitted as early as he did so he could get that jump on the rest of the field, considering he wasn't really making up a whole lot of ground on the track. So the one way for him to do it was in the pits, and as you can see, that's worked for him so far.
And we got a battle for the lead. Elvin trying to make the power move on the outside of Parlay, going into turn 3 and turn 4. Here comes Elvin.
Yep.
He's going to
Now
do it
Elvin,
too. He's going to grab it.
Elvin's got that tire advantage over that 42 car. Still side by side down the front stretch here. And Chase is starting to catch back up here.
Yeah, as those two, as Elvin and Parlay were side by side, that let that was kind of looked like the Parlay got loose off it too.
It sure looked like it here. As we look through the rest of the field.
That second group. Look at that second group,
yeah.
Timmy, led by the 14 of Shovelhead. That he's brought those two other guys with him, and the 18 to Hamlin Nation, and his one of his good buddies in the 12 car of 19mm. They have now caught up to that 78 of Bro Chase, who just scraped the wall again. And here goes the 14 underneath.
Forced to run high. 14 and 18 are barging through that open door to the inside of 3 and 4 and move the 14 car up into the 3rd spot.
Chase has got his hands full, Timmy. He's got
trying
his
to
hands
hang
full
on
with that car. Yeah. He wants to get up into that wall. He wants to get right up and arc it into the corner, and it's, I don't know, maybe just a little bit of rust kind of showing up. Oh, the 42 hard smacked the wall. off of turn 2. Down onto the apron.
All the
Looks
way
like the
down the
parlay's gonna come
apron.
in now. You gonna come in?
No.
Oh.
Which is interesting. Now I'm not sure where these guys are at on their fuel window here.
I'm not sure.
But if they did have to pit again, I think that would have been the choice to do that to stop the bleeding, I guess. But if that wasn't the case, then very unfortunate for that to happen, as that moves the 14 car of Shovelhead up into the second spot. Hamlin Nation now in third, 19mm in fourth, and it's your bro Chase completing your top 5. As this trio of cars trying to run down our race leader Elvin Priest, who is a sitting duck right now. Now it looks like we might have a side-by-side battle for 6th place. I think this is for 6th place between Cyogenic and Blackcross, the two Hendrick Chevrolets, going back and forth here. Now the one car of Ed, though, I should point out, he is a lap down. .24 completing the crossover on the 48 of Cyogenic back to the inside of 1 and 2.
Cyogenic not giving it up that easily. He's going to fight back on the outside coming down the back stretch.
Thought there was an opportunity to clear up there. Just wasn't clear that time. The 48 still peeking his nose through. Big run on the outside from Cyogenic there. And I think we got about 2 laps to go in this stage. Let me look back to the front here and see whether or not, no. Elvin's still got a pretty good lead over here, as the battle for second is now ready to take place here. 18 to the inside. Yeah, they know they're not going to catch the 51, so they're going to fight it amongst themselves. 18, he's in the pit as far as points go, so every point is going to count for him, as he's having a really good run here tonight, fighting that 14 car for that 1 extra point as we reach towards the end of the stage. 19mm also having a great run here, continuing to run inside the top 5 in 4th. It's your bro Chase still hanging on there in 5th, and Blackcross got around Cyogenic for that position. And that'll pretty much do it. Elvin Priest, winner of stage 1.
Good run for Elvin, man. He's on fire, man. He's having a very good run. Like we were saying earlier, man, he has got this 51 car moving. And I mean moving fast, too. He was just on cruise control that last dash there, that first stage, man, and he cruised to that stage win.
So Hamlin Nation holds off for second. It got pretty close between Shovelhead and 19, but Shovel gets the 3rd spot from him. It's bro Chase 5th, Blackcross 6th. Dan the Man got around Cyogenic for 7th. And we saw Parley, of course, had that big hit against the wall. He gets into the 9th spot, so he still gets a couple of points, but he's further back than I'm sure he would want to be. MFF Nomad gets the last point in 10th. Now drivers missing out on points. Motorsports Fan, MJ Bross, no points for him in this stage, as he is in the 12th spot. And MFF Ed, though, in car number 1, will get the lucky dog and put himself back on the lead lap. It's Elvin Priest on the inside, Hamlin Nation on the outside, followed by Shovelhead 19, Blackcross ahead of It's Your Bro Chase on the pit stop, and we are green, back underway here for stage number 2 here at Chicagoland. Wasting no time, 18 car looking to go to the inside of the 51 of Elvin Priest. He wants to get the lead here very early on here. Sends it deep into turn number 3. He's got the 14 right behind him. Elvin Priest got really close to the wall there. Is able to keep it off. But he's keeping it in the gas. Doesn't want to give up the lead quite yet, but as you can see, he's got a disadvantage here. You see all of those cars lined up on the bottom. Elvin all by his lonesome up at the top. Shovel looking to make it go 3 wide. Thought better of it, as he's going to stick to the bumper of the 18 Toyota. And Hamlin Nation to the point.
And Elvin is just sitting up there absolutely just by himself, nowhere to go as the whole train slowly starts to move on past as now 24 Black Cross now passes and makes a pass for third, and Elvin finally able to drop back in line.
Back in line as he will now be in the fourth spot. Another car moving up through the field is Dan the Man in that number 34 Ford. Saw him make a pass way down the inside off of turn 4 as he is now up to the bumper of 1-9.
And just when we said it,
really
Elvin
close there between the 18 and the 14, but looks like they're good to go there.
Right as we said that Elvin dropped in line, he made the pass underneath the Black Cross for the 24, back up to third. And Elvin, he wants to be patient, but his excitement and his anxiousness doesn't want him to be patient. He wants to get back to that lead.
And especially when you're in the middle of a very tight line like that, that can also be very uncomfortable as well. But he's got a bit of space now between him and the 12, so he's got a little bit of room to work with. As we look through the rest of the field here, and the 4 car of Mike had that bad pit stop during the green flag run in stage 1, didn't get any stage points. As a result, he's still back in the running order here. He's made up a couple of spots, but as you can see, he is completely out of the draft. As the 42 car of Parley is up to the bumper of Chase, and I think I do see some lag, but only from the 24. Black Cross Elvin gets put into the wall off of 2. And he's back stranded to the outside once again.
Where he does not want to be, and look at this number 34 car of Dan the Man. Dan the Man in that 34 car, slowly but surely working his way through the field. Started pretty much all the way to back. I think he started in 13th, back in the back. And here he is, side by side.
Biggest mover of the race.
Up to 4th now for Dan the Man. Great run in that 34 machine.
Still side by side with Elvin, who's trying to get back in line here, but got really tight there between both him and the 24 as they make contact down towards the front stretch. Very close call there between the 2 red, white, and blue cars. Chase and Parley still drafting together, but it is still the 18 car of Hamlin Nation leading this race ahead of the 14 of Shovelhead and the 12 of 19mm. Dan peeking to the inside. He wants more, going for the 3rd spot now into turn number 3. Way down to the inside of 19. Keeping it very close, keeping it very clean. Got a little bit antsy there between him and Elvin, but he's got the advantage here down the front stretch, and I think Dan is going to get the spot as he continues his march forward in his first start in the Phantom Racing League. Very impressive stuff.
Up to 3rd. Very good. Very good. Nice run for Dan the Man so far here in the early beginning. Like I said, like you said, man, he started 13th all the way in the back. And here he is now up to 3rd as he's starting to set his sights now on 2nd in Shovelhead. He's got himself a good hot rod tonight.
19 almost got sent to the outside, but he's going to tuck back in line ahead of the 51. Oh, Chase in the 78. Way down to the inside here as he's going to get passed by Parley in the 42 car. And
looks
look
like
who's
he
also
got real loose coming off the turn.
moving back up through the field, the 4 car of Mike. It's him and Chase. You said you wanted to see these 2 race against each other. Well, here they are.
Yes, I did.
Right there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, what, 8th place?
Yeah. And they're I don't think they're gonna race each other at this point. They're just gonna ride. They're gonna hook up. These 2 guys, I guarantee, they're gonna hook up, nose to tail, and they're gonna work together. They got the 48 right behind them as well. So they got they know they got another fast driver right behind them. So there's 3 really.
Well, here's someone that isn't working with anybody. Dan the Man is taking him every chance he got. Set Shovelhead up, and now he's up into the 2nd spot. Oh, but he gets loose off of turn 2, way down to the inside. And now everyone's going to go to the outside to get around him unless he can keep his car up to speed, but he might be fine for the moment. He's going to lose second to Shovel. 1-9 to his outside all by himself. Elvin stays low, so does the 24. The 42, there's the 4 of Mike, and the 48 is Cyogenic, also in the mix now. We had a 5-car breakaway. Yeah, the 12 car way to the outside, but look at this now. Everybody's in the hunt. 24 car. How low can you go? Inside of the 42 of Parley, who's making up some spots. Everyone has drove around the 78 of Chase, who is now towards the very back of this group at the moment. The 8 car Nomad is now ahead of him as he's starting to move up through the field as well.
I'm wondering if that's by design.
Could very well be, but he is very far back.
Yeah. Like you said, man, like we were talking in his winter interview last week at Dover, when he saw the guy, a pack of cars starting to get dicey, he let off. He went ahead and dropped on back and let him race it out. And if you see here, man, look at this group. Look at this lead group. You got like the top 10 almost here, all nose to tail, side by side pretty much, getting really, really dicey. I think he's just kind of backing off.
Oh, 3 wide for the second spot. Putting Dan the Man through the sucker hole. Shovel head to the outside, gets pushed up further from the 34 of Dan the Man. Not a whole lot of room to work with there, and look who else is moving up back up through the field. The 4 car of Mike RPM. Up into the 4th spot, maybe 3rd if he can get around the 24 of Black Cross. And Cyogenic also back up into the top 5.
Cyogenic in the 48 has been riding that 4 car's tail all the way up through the field, and they're going to keep on going, trucking all the way back up to the front. They're now up to 3rd and 4th respectively, setting their sights now on Elvin, who's in 2nd. The 24 gets loose.
This is how fast things change here in the Phantom Racing League, and we haven't even gotten to the pit stop yet, ladies and gentlemen. Nose to tail, bumper to bumper, head to head action, non-stop here in stage number 2. Cyogenic peels off to the inside. He's going to pit early ahead of these guys. Let's see if anyone else goes with him.
Little contact there between 19mm and the 24 Black Cross. Sent the 24 up the track just a little bit. Allowed the train to come up underneath. And that 8 car of Nomad, he's starting to move his way forward now.
Gets ahead of the 24 car, who is up. Nomad goes to the inside. I wonder if he might be coming in here.
I think he just got loose off of 2.
Yeah, he just got loose. And that's been a trouble spot for a lot of these guys as Chase is pitting this time by. And we got a change for the lead. The 51 of Elvin back out ahead of the 18. But now Mike's thrown his hat into the ring as he is pulled out ahead of Dan the Man, the rest of these cats here.
He's sitting right there in a catbird seat right here.
Ooh, little contact between the 51 and the 18. They're keeping it very, very close. 18 trying to side draft. And Mike's going to take this advantage to pit here, as is Dan the Man. Oh, he's on the apron again! Again! Another bad pit stop entry for the 4 car. And Nomad also involved. I wonder if this will be a caution. Because that is more than 1 car involved.
Yep, it had a couple cars involved. Nomad and Mike Bross also got tagged.
That is a caution. And this is an actual caution, not a manual one. And
this is gonna work out for some and not for all the others. But Mike Bross, I had the camera right on him, and he was slowing down, trying to downshift, going around turn number 3 and 4. And his right side tires caught that seam at the apron and the track, where the track and the apron meet. And as soon as his tires caught that seam, around he went. He might as well put ice skates on, or roller skates underneath of that 4 car, because he was gone.
And that was right in the middle of the pit cycle. So that's going to throw a wrench into everything. So we're going to see who's out in front now. It's the 24 of Black Cross. Will be the control car on this restart, and I think he might have forgot to pit because he is pulling off to the side and letting everybody go. So now it looks like, if I can get to it, it'll be It's Your Bro Chase. Getting around the 14 to Shovelhead, and now put Chase up at the front as your race leader. Remember, he was the one that pitted right before all this happened, so
And
been
he was
dancing
the one
with
that got
Lady
out
Luck.
of the throttle. I mean,
Yeah.
when things are going your way, if things really are just going your way, and that's the way it is with this kid, man. I mean, he was just backing out of the throttle, letting guys just beat it out in that top lead pack, just cruising by himself, going head on in the pits,
Yep.
casually and nonchalantly, and boom, he's in the lead.
And with that restart, it's gonna bunch everybody up yet again. Be a lot to keep up here. The 34, Dan the Man, hung up on the outside with the 1 car of Ed, who I think he's on the lead lap in the top 10 at the moment, as everyone's driving around him. Now Nomad into the wall, heading into 1. I think him and Motorsports got together there.
And we got a lead change here as Elvin has got the help of Hamlin Nation in the 18 as they went under Bro Chase in 1 and 2. And now the 18 of Hamlin Nation slides up in front of Bro Chase, slides back down. Bro Chase now on the outside as the train is going to go under him. Put Elvin Priest to the point.
Him and that 18 have been working very well together, but I think the 18's breaking up with them now. He's back to his inside once again. And we saw that 18 car leading quite a bit early in that second stage. He wants it back. And that Skittles car, he's telling the whole field to taste his rainbow. 18 back to the point here if you can clear this 51. And 19mm in that 12 car. Up into the third, maybe second if he can get around the 51 as well.
And he will, because he's got the help of the 4 car and the 14 right behind him as the 51 once again caught to the outside with no help whatsoever. As the 18 just slide up to try to give him a little help.
High.
Open
an
the door
opportunity to
wide
protect
open.
the bottom there, but instead that opens the door for the 12 car of 19mm, that Advanced Auto Parts Ford, and now he's gonna show himself as the race leader. Put the 12 car onto the point. How many leaders have we had so far tonight? Oh, Elvin gets into the wall there, or almost did.
Bunch. They are now 2 by 2. Very surprised to see that 18 car as when he was in that lead, just move up to that upper line in front of Elvin. I don't know if he was trying a slide job, thinking that Elvin was getting a momentum run or what, but very uncharacteristic as he opened a door.
Oh, here we go again. Another lead change taking place, and guess who it is? It's the 4 car of Mike RPM clearing the 12 car pretty easily there. And now Shovelhead is next in the waiting line. He's bringing Parley with that 1-9 into the wall. Back down in front of traffic, right into Chase. And that's going to slow them both up. Well, I guess Chase's reign of luck ends there, as he was in the wrong spot at the wrong time as the 12 car got sent all the way up into the wall, came back down right in his path. So
Yeah,
we find the 78 towards the back once again.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for 1-9 as he made contact there, shot him up into the wall. You could see where he was trying to keep it to the top side, but you know how it is, Timmy, man. You bounce off of that wall, it's kind of like a pinball, man. You just have no control, and as hard as you try to keep it up out of the racing groove, there's just nothing that you can do. And unfortunately, it was right in front of Bro Chase, as those 2 guys are now going to hook up to try to get back up and catch that lead pack, as that lead pack is now starting to pull away a little bit. But,
it did for a minute, but Dan the Man has reeled them in. It's a sea of blue up at the front with Parley, Shovelhead, and Mike. Dan really thought of taking that 42 car on the inside. The 42 said no, as he's going to hang on to third here, but close call. The 34 almost opened the door for Cyogenic. Elvin right behind him in that 51 car, getting around the 18 car, who has slid outside of the top 5. And now he's got the 32 of Motorsports in that Corey LaJoie face mask right in his mirror. 34 and 42 working together on the inside. They're looking to get around the 14 of Shovelhead. Stays to the outside as Parley's looking to get second back. And that's exactly what Mike wants to see, is these cars are still side by side. He can just... He's all by himself, all clear.
And he'll be able to put a little bit of distance. These guys stay side by side. Parley clears them off of 2.
He clears the 14 for now. 14 back to his inside. Got really close there.
These guys are set up, and I've seen a lot of guys getting loose, especially in the later part of the runs.
Oh, Shovel and Dan get together there.
Yeah, a little contact there.
And slides up from the bottom of the racetrack. Elvin Priest gonna force his way through.
Look who else has joined this mix and throwing his voice into this before it's all said and done. And that's the 32 of Motorsports fan, as he's now climbed up into this mess.
Yes, he has. Another driver that is needing of a good run tonight.
Ooh, a little contact between Dan the Man and the 14 of Shovelhead.
Oh, and Cyogenic gets into the... And back down into Motorsports. Multiple cars sliding down towards the backstretch, and we might have ourselves another caution. And I think with that caution comes the end of the second stage.
Caution is out, yes.
There were 2 laps to go.
Oh, man.
In stage 2. These guys were going to race it out for that stage point, but...
Heck of a break. Dan the Man and Cyogenic has got those 2 guys are side by side as they're running the into the caution lap. Got them side by side, and perhaps a little bit of sign language going on between through the window.
Yeah, he's like, check out this thing I got at Target. As you're looking at your stage 2 winner, Mike Bross in that Busch Can car.
That's our pole sitter as well.
Yep. And as we get ready for one last stage, the order mixes up yet again. And the control car will be the 42 car of Parley, as he will lead them to green here at Chicago.
Got himself a great jump, and Mike Bross played that perfectly. He didn't even contest it. He just went ahead and let him go, and just found the hole, and got himself right into that hole before Elvin in the 51 was even able to get through the gears. So he was able to lose any more spots. Veteran move, very, very veteran move on Mike Bross.
18 gets into the wall, right in front of traffic. Owen chases in it, multiple cars collected.
Big wreck in the back. Bro Chase involved as well.
Yep, and I think some of the other cars towards the back, I couldn't quite see who else was there. I was riding on board with the leader, but that was a pretty massive wreck. It all started when the 18 car looked like he had ran up the racetrack off of turn 4, bounced right off the wall right in front of everybody. And that's when chaos completely erupted.
And it was Hamlin Nation in the 18 and Bro Chase are the 2 that got the worst end of that deal, as both of them went around and maybe got themselves a little bit of dizzy in the 360s.
And Cyogenic was also involved. He took a big slide in the grass. And it'll be Parley on point once again. Now Elvin will be the one on his outside.
Ooh,
who he tried to tuck back in line and instead got too close to him and loops it around.
He tried to do exactly what Mike Bross did on the last restart and tuck right in behind tried it a little too early, caught that quarter pen on that bumper, and around
Now,
he went.
Parley trying to protect that bottom from Mike, Motorsports fan up into the top 5, as well as Nomad. 2 cars that are desperate for a good run here tonight, and both of them are having it right now. Nomad, the highest he's ran all night, he's in the 3rd spot. Motorsports in 4th. 19mm back into 5th there. We saw him in the top 5 for pretty much most of the night as he is given the 32 the bumper as he gets sent way up the racetrack and into the wall. The 32 goes. And now here comes Black Cross, Cyogenic getting together there. As we got ourselves, once again, a battle for the lead between Mike and Parley. Ed gets into the wall right in front of the 32. Here comes Flux in the middle with Shovelhead on his inside. Got action at the back. We got action at the front. Nomad trying to go for 2nd on Parley. Doesn't quite have anything there. Black Cross inside of 19. Cyogenic Chase, Hamlination also there. My goodness. Looks like Ed might have gotten the wall again here.
Elvin has got to be beside himself with making that mistake.
Yeah.
Because that 51 car, that's a top 3. That's been a top 3 car all night long. All night long. I mean, hopefully, I mean, he's got to hope for some help here, you know, because if this thing goes green the rest of the way, he could be a fish out of water, so to speak.
And this
that kind of mistake.
This gives me a chance to bring up the point situation. We mentioned at the start of the show, Mike had missed the race last week. He came into that race as the points leader, lost the points lead, gave the points lead to Showtime Flash. Now Showtime Flash not here tonight with Elvin Priest, who is the next car in line in the points. So if he were to have a good race here, there's still a chance that he could get the points lead from Flash, but he's not that far ahead of the cars behind him, one of them being the 24 Black Cross, and even Mike, who's still in the thick of it. Despite missing last week's race, he's still in the top 5 in points. So even he has a shot of getting it back here, as he is currently the race leader here. Battle for 2nd between 19 and Parley. Got ourselves a bit of a breakaway here. Shovelhead, Dan the Man, completely further back in the running order here. And they're seeing those cars in front of them get smaller and smaller. That is not what they want to see.
Tell you what, Timmy, these guys have been super aggressive tonight. Super aggressive. I don't know how many lead changes that we've had.
I think we might have set the record. Because we've so many cars in this race have at least led a lap so far, and it's been very exciting to see.
I mean, it's almost been musical cars. I mean, they just been jostling around and getting to the lead, and next thing you know, as soon as they lead a lap, somebody else gets underneath, they lead a lap, and it's just been a constant rotation, almost kind of like a revolving door of, you know, just kind of being cycling through in this lead pack.
Now, going back to the 51 car of Elvin, being as far back as he is with the issue that he had on the restart, assuming this race goes completely green towards the end, there's nothing happens there. If you're Elvin, what do you do as far as, like, do you try something different on strategy? Do you try to, like, is that even a possibility? Like, what is there that he can do? Is it just completely out of his control now?
The only thing that you can be able to try to do is try to short pit and try to make up some kind of time on the short pit. If this thing does in fact go green all the way, that's the only thing that he's going to be able to, that he can do. Or if it just kind of works out as far as a fuel run when we get down to the end, and maybe he can just hit it right and put himself on a kind of, if he short pits, put himself a little bit on a different pit sequence than the rest. Maybe that could work out as far as it comes down to a fuel strategy issue at the end. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all he can do at this point if it goes green all the way, because when he got turned around, you can see all that the time that he
Ooh,
lost
battle
and
for
how
the
far
lead.
back he is.
Sorry to interrupt, but we got a new leader up at the front. This time it's the 24 of Black Cross. And as I mentioned, the points situation now, maybe there's a chance that he could come out of this as the points leader.
And that is definitely, you can tell, a big motivation factor for all these guys in the points, because all these guys that are in the hunt, that are trying to make up ground and trying to get back up into the points battle here, are just, I mean, they're just sending it in. I mean, really nice. I mean, very little contact made, but very aggressively, man. Very aggressively. But, I mean, these are veteran guys. This is not their first rodeo, man. These are the best of the best.
And Mike finally finds a hole right in front of his good buddy Chase, who lets him back in line. As Black Cross gets the lead away from him. Parley goes with him in second. Cyogenic got shoved from him on the outside. There goes Hamlin Nation back in the mix with help from 19mm. Mike trying to rebound here as he's down there as well. The 78 of Chase. And now the 42 and the 48 of Parley and Cyogenic. Now let's see what those guys try to do there. The 18 got a little bit loose from the bottom, almost got into the 42 there. 24 starting to gap these guys.
He's starting to get a little bit of time now.
We got another guy in that group that is hanging in there, hanging back, and that is the number 8 car of Nomad. A guy that we haven't really talked a whole lot about. We saw him battling for second earlier. But he's keeping in touch with these guys. He has been on that bumper of Chase for a while now.
I think he's picked up on Chase's strategy. And I really... Yeah, he got a little dicey there.
It looked like Cyogenic might have gotten the wall off of 2, as he is completely hung out to dry on the outside. Everyone swoops by him downstairs, as he will drop to the back of this group.
He lost a lot of momentum on there. Like I was saying, I mean, I'm really liking the race that Pro Chase is running. He's been the most patient on this track tonight. He's been the most patient. You've seen him several times literally just move up to the high side, let 2 or 3 cars just go right up underneath of him, and he'll tuck right back behind them. Or, you know, even in the beginning of this stage 3 that we're in now, as things are starting to wind down here, but been very patient, man, and that's just the kind of guy he is. But I love the race that he's been running tonight.
And we just saw Parley make a pass on Black Cross into turn 3, as he is now back in the lead here. And we saw a big swing from the 18 to Hamlin Nation heading into 1, and that leaves the 24 stuck on the outside, as he gets himself back up to second. 19mm and Mike on the inside, Black Cross on the outside. He had Chase right behind him. For a moment, he goes back down, and he goes back to the top again, as he goes back down with Mike on the bottom here. So now Parley having to deal with the 18 car. I wonder if he might be pitting this time, as he is all the way down to the inside, and he is.
And that's the strategy he's been using all race long, is trying to get that short pit and pitting before everybody all race long. So not surprised for him. I mean, it's been working for him all race long. Why would you deviate from it?
And the 32 Motorsports in. Elvin Priest got in the same time as Parley a little bit earlier, so Elvin's in the pits as well. So now Hamlin Nation has now inherited the race lead. 19mm in the second spot. Nomad now pitting this time, as no one else seems to be going right with him. He's getting into the lawn care business here, as he's mowing the grass into turn 3.
Yeah, he wanted to help out the groundskeepers here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, it's very nice of him.
Very nice. Very generous guy.
Lot cross to the inside of Cyogenic for the 5th position here. And we'll see who's the next group of cars to pit.
I got a feeling it's probably going to be this.
Black Cross and Chase got into it there. He sent the 78 a little bit of a bumper tag through 3 and 4. And that moved the 78 car up the track. Motorsports is coming out. I saw someone coming in here, and that is Shovelhead is now in on pit road. And the 12 cars peeling down, 18's peeling down as well. Now,
Everybody.
Mike's coming in, so Mike, this is your chance. Let's have ourselves a clean stop. He's 0 for 2 on that so far, and it looks like taking it a bit easy. Oh, and the 12 and the 18 got together. They got together, and he sends them around.
And he's going to lose a lot of time with that one, too.
He
He's
is,
gonna lose a
I
lot
guarantee
of
you, he is not happy about that, because the thing is, they woe it up so much at the entrance of 3. Like, they're completely slowed down at that point, so... And yet they still managed to get together at the entrance of pit road, so I'm wondering if, I don't know what, maybe one of them just kept going, maybe the car in front might have slammed on the brakes.
I'm not sure.
And now we'll
Cryogenic
see,
sound coming down.
now we saw the 42 of Parley pit early, and we'll see that advantage that gets him for now. And instead of like a 1-lap difference, I think it's a 2-lap difference now, if I'm not mistaken. So, and it'll be 19mm, despite the contact between him and the 18. He is the benefactor of that scuffle, and he will come out ahead of this group. He's got a big gap between him and Mike, Black Cross, Nomad. I'm trying to see that is behind Nomad. I think that's Shovel. Yes, it is. And then Dan the Man, Motorsports. It's Bro Chase is on pit road now. Cryogenics coming out.
Parlay just cleared him, so I think that's going to put 42 of Parlay to the point.
So we'll see where the 48 of Cryogenics cycles out. I think that'll put him in 4th.
Up right behind Mike, so that's going to give him a little bit of drafting partner.
And an advantage too, since he did pit later than these guys. Now Hamlin Nation, it always seems like just it's an unfortunate situation one after the other. Like no matter what, it has just been, he's just been snake bitten. Like we gotta break the curse for him somehow, because he's got the speed to run up towards the front, but it's like something happens every single week, and it's just been very unfortunate to see.
He's just got to keep, and then the only thing he can do, man, is just keep digging and keep digging and keep digging until he can just finally break through. And in that situation, it wasn't, you know, as many situations in the beginning of this season for Hamlin Nation. And no fault of his own. It's just something has happened, and he was just at the wrong place, wrong time, and just got the short end of the stick. But you know, with the, you know, and it happens, man. It's a game of hills and valleys, man. You get on the highs, you get on the lows, and sometimes when you get these lows, it'll lead to those highs. So if he can use that, and he just needs one good thing. He just needs that one good race to break that ice. If he can break that ice, then he can start stacking some things on top of each other.
So
He's
now
got the speed.
It looks like Harley's massive lead is short-lived. Mike, 19mm, Cryogenic were all working together to run him down, and so they have, as he is going to be on the outside. Have no choice but to let these guys go. And Mike, back up to the lead. He actually got around 19mm before that, because 19 was actually ahead of him on pit exit. So there you have it, Mike RPM back to the point.
Yeah, you can tell Mike wants this win. He wants this win in a bad way. And all these other guys, of course, want to win in a bad way. Don't get me wrong, but you can just the mistakes that Mike has made, turning himself around twice, going into the pit, trying to get on the pit road. and overcoming that, and just knowing how fierce of a competitor he is. And that's one of the things that I love about Mike RPM, man, is just how fierce of a competitor that he is. I love it. I love it. I love seeing it, and that's just I just love it. I just love watching it. And same here with 9mm. 9mm, he hasn't got a win at all this season.
Oh, Mike, way down to the inside. Actually, something happened. He's letting these guys go. And I was going to talk about 9mm next, who's having probably the best run he's had all season. And now here he is to the point. How about that?
I think you're right. I think that was by design and by plan on Mike's part. And I think maybe if it was a fuel issue, in the sense that he's looking and he's doing the math in his head and he's doing the calculations, that fuel could be playing a factor now as we have gone green most of the way here at stage 3, if not all of stage 3.
It's your bro Chase, that 78 car, also putting his hat in the ring, getting around the 4 car. And Cyogenic and 19 got together, and that's going to send Cyogenic into the grass.
And up into the wall, too. Another car got into it.
It's Black Cross, Dan the man. And that will be another caution to change the whole flow of this race. And good news for Elvin. This puts him back in the fight.
I was just about to say, if that didn't answer Elvin's prayers right there.
And he's scored in 13th. He's on the lead lap. And haven't talked much about the 7 car of Flux. He's 2 down now, so he's going to get 1 of his laps back. And if we somehow get another caution here, that'll put all 14 of our drivers on the lead lap. So we'll keep an eye on that if we get another caution here in these closing laps.
Well, you know what they say, and we've seen time and time again, cautions do breed cautions. And look at the front.
Oh, look who it is. It's
Here
Chase.
we go.
It's Mike.
Yes,
the head-to-head
sir.
battle we have been waiting for. And
Yes.
here it is. Chase on the inside of Mike. The green flag waves once again here at Chicagoland. As we take a look at the lap count. 15 laps to go.
So there's no more pit when there's no more pit. They'll be able to take this to the end, I believe.
Yes, it is. They can go all the way from here on out.
Gloves are off, my friend. Here it is.
Mike peeking the nose there, nothing there. He has to tuck back in line. Chase protecting it as much as he can. Has got a clear lead over that 4 car. 19mm continuing to run strong in 3rd. Cyogenic in the grass again, but gathers it back up. And now Mike picks to the inside again, sends it in. And Chase was able to spot that out and let him go here. But with that, might have let the 12 car through as well. He tried to clear him there. He couldn't quite do it. 19mm fighting that 78 car for the 2nd spot. He's got his FRR buddy Shovelhead right behind him. Black Cross all over the racetrack there. And that 51 of Elvin was riding up against the wall through 3 and 4, thinking it was Kansas. He's trying to do everything he can to fight through the field.
Yes, he can. He has thrown everything in the kitchen sink at it.
It is still Mike in the lead. Chase got back ahead of the 12 car. Oh, and him and Shovel both drift up the racetrack. I wonder if those two might have tagged bumpers there. And maybe the 42 at Parley.
And that's just let the 78 of Chase and Mike RPM kind of get a little breathing room on their own here.
Elvin got a bit of a nose chopper from Black Cross, who was trying to get around him. And the 8 car of Nomad, nothing to do there. The 4 and the 78 starting to gap the 12.
Oh, we're going to have ourselves a big showdown, I believe, my friend. I've been waiting for this.
Ooh, Shovel to the inside of 19. That's going to bring everybody with him. Got Parley, you got Cyogenic. Cyogenic back down to the bottom again.
They better not stay side by side very long. They better
Nope.
want to get that straightened out quick.
While those top two are continuing to stretch their lead over the rest of this pack, these guys need to sort this out if they want to stay in it. 1-9 still on the outside. He's getting passed now by the 34 of Dan the Man. And the 24, 51, 18, if they can get around him as well. And this is not what the 12 car wanted. He was looking to get a top 5 out of this. So it's up to 1-9 to fight his way back through. So now Shovelhead, Parley, Cyogenic not wanting to stay in line. He's going to shuffle Parley out of line. It seems like no one can decide on where they want to be in this group. They're racing each other just about as hard as they've been all day. Him and Dan get together. The 42 of Parley on the outside of Dan made a little bit of contact. And once again, battle for third between the 14 of Shovelhead and the 48 of Cyogenic. And like you said, this is allowing the top two to stretch their lead.
They're checking out now. I know we got to be probably under 10 to go now.
Yep, 8 laps to go. As we look through the rest of the field here, it is down to these two cars. Mike in the 4, Chase in the 78. Chase coming off a win at Dover in his first and only start of the season. He's looking to go back-to-back here.
Now
Mike's sort of the same because he had not raced last week, but he's coming off a win as well if you count his Road America win. So we'll see who's going to go back-to-back here. Chase showing he's got a really fast race car as he's continuing to push the 4 car. He doesn't want anybody else in this ring but him and Mike. He's like, we're settling it amongst ourselves. The rest of you can just sit there and watch.
They might have something to say about that because they got their act together and they are nose to tail all drafting together to try to bring these two leaders back into the mix.
It's Cyogenic leading the train. Parley way down to the inside off of 2. We'll see if that train can reach the station here.
I'm riding on the hood of Cyogenic now, trying to see if I can tell if they're maybe closing in, maybe just a little bit, but I don't know if they're going to have enough time as I think we're down
very
to
close.
6 to go.
It looks like it. I think it's about 5 now.
5, yeah.
Yeah, 5 to go.
They're not making up enough time.
Nope. Looks like we might have ourselves another classic close finish here in the Phantom Racing League. With Mike leading the 78 of It's Your Bro Chase. That black car with the red wheels chasing now that ice cold bush can.
Oh boy.
So right now it is Cyogenic ahead of Shovelhead, then Dan the Man, Black Cross, Elvin Priest, 19mm. That is the order they're running in that second group. Trying to do everything they can to run this top 2 down. And looks like that will be 3 to go.
It's going to come down to these two guys here.
Black Cross on the wall.
Yep, it's going to come down to these two guys here.
Chase just waiting for the right moment to strike. 2 to go.
Two of the biggest heavyweights on NASCAR Heat 5 right here on Phantom Racing League, and it's going to come down to these two guys.
Chase got a little bit tight off of turn 2, had to swerve it back down to keep it off of the wall. Mike gets a little bit of a gap, but it won't be enough with how strong the draft will be. How fast that 78 car is. The white flag will be waving one more time around for these two to settle it out. Who is it going to be? Mike leading Chase heading into turn 1. Let's see what kind of move that 78 car can make. Mike
Mike
putting on
blocks
the
the
block.
bottom.
He knew that 78 was gonna oh, and he gives him the bumper! Sending him way up the racetrack off of 4.
Gonna try the crossover, he's not gonna make it.
Not gonna be enough. It's your bro Chase off the bumper of Mike, and is gonna go back to back here in the Phantom Racing League. And I can tell you right now, Mike, even though those two are good buddies, he is probably not happy with him about that. Not at all.
Oh, man.
Oh, and we had a crash at the line between, looked like Shovelhead got sideways, but he still gets credited with the 4th place finish. So the rest of the finishing order is Cyogenic in his return to the Phantom Racing League. Not able to keep up his 100% win streak in Phantom, but does get a 3rd place finish in his return. So good on him. Shovelhead with another top 5 run, and Dan the Man in his first start in Phantom gets 5th.
What a finish, man. What a finish. You're Phantom Racing League.
Oh boy, but we gotta get both these guys in the booth. I'm scared.
Yeah, this could get interesting.
Oh man.
You know what? I mean, these guys have such respect for each other too, man. I mean, it's the last lap. It was a clean bump and run. I mean, if the shoe's on the other foot, what would you do? You know? So, I don't know. We'll just have to see what these guys say.
Wins on the line, and that trophy's on the line, and there's money at the end of the tunnel, then anything goes at that point. But looking at the rest of the finishing order, despite the mishap in the final stage there, Elvin Priest does get at least a decent finish there. He'll come home in 6th. He did get a stage win, but that does mean that'll be the end of his top 5 streak, unfortunately. So we'll see. He does finish ahead of the 24 of Black Cross, who comes home in 10th. Rest of the running order, you got 19mm in 7th, Hamlin Nation in 8th, Nomad in 9th, and Black Cross, like I said, in 10th. And yet again, Parley, the finish not fitting the run that he had, as he gets credited for 11th place. Ed finishes 12th, Motorsports Fan in 13th, last car on the lead lap, and then Flux in that 7 car, finishing 2 laps down in 14th. So yeah, that was a pretty intense battle there going on. Not just that last lap battle, but battles throughout the entire way. From the drop of the green flag, once the lag storm finally had blown past the racetrack, and we finally got some green flag action going. It has been a non-stop thrills throughout. As we wait for the rest of our finishers to get in here. I'm gonna step out for a quick moment. I gotta do something here. We'll be right back. Well, well, well. We are back, and we got our top 3 finishers in the booth with us. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to this race tonight. I hope it was worth the wait. We got a bit of trouble starting, but eventually we got this thing wrapped up. And let's start with our 3rd place finisher, Cyogenic. Welcome back to Phantom. How does it feel?
It was a little nerve-wracking. Didn't know if I still had it, but it was a eventful race.
Yeah, describe how your race went, because just like yours, a lot of guys were up and down throughout the running order.
It started off pretty calm. I was just trying to ride behind the 4. Didn't quite know how fast I was. I kind of felt like I was lacking a little pace throughout the race, but it took trying to chase down those 2 leaders in those final laps to make you realize that I wasn't that much slower than anyone else, and I could have been a little bit more aggressive trying to take the lead.
Shady, you got anything for him?
Yeah, man. Congratulations, dude, on getting 3rd, man. Real quick, coming back into the Phantom, did you have any rust that you were kind of shaking off, and at the beginning of the race, any rust, or were you pretty much wore all that off at practice and you're ready to go tonight?
No, I definitely felt rusty. I was surprised I qualified 3rd. Yeah, I just didn't feel too natural league racing again, but I got the hang of it, made some adjustments throughout the race. The car started off a little bit too loose, but I got it tightened up towards the end, and it was pretty much perfect at the end. I just couldn't catch those guys. We were ticking off 10th. They would gain a 10th. We would lose a 10th, but yeah, it was fun.
And it was heard myself echo there. Check. Okay, I think we're good now. So, yeah. There's Cyogenic here. Glad to have him back here as even though he said he was rusty, he looked like he had fit in there. He still clawed back and got a 3rd place finish here. And now let's get to what we're really here for.
Let's get into this.
Top 2 finishers. Let's get to Mike first, and you have the floor. I don't even have a question. Just speak your piece.
It was a really good race. Chase and I I didn't think Chase's car pretty much sucked at the start, but at the end there we got him just right, and we're able to pull away from them and kind of dictate the race. And I didn't get back up the track enough to get back down into 3 the way I wanted to, and I just missed the corner, and he was able to give me a shot up the track, and at that point, the tires were worn out and just kind of sliding, holding on there. But, it was a clean. I think it was a clean move. It was the last lap. He knows I would have done that to him too. So you're going for the win there. You gotta do what you gotta do.
You see, Timmy, I called that. I called it.
Did y'all think I was gonna be pissed? Or did somebody think I was gonna be pissed? No, I wasn't mad at all. I said congratulations. It's a good win. It's a good hard battle for sure.
And man, and that's what I was kind of expecting. I mean, because it was the last lap. I mean, you guys have, the absolute, complete, utmost respect for each other as racers and friends. And like I said, if the shoe was on the other foot, what would you do? I would have done it too.
I blocked him down under the apron. I was expecting to get moved. If he didn't move me, I was going to be shocked. But that's racing, and I've been racing Chase. We've been racing each other for 5 years now, so it's all good stuff between us. We're cool.
Oh man, I had a blast, man, and it was a ground ball on the picks. I picked you as the win tonight. I
think I had the pace. I just didn't make the right move there at the end.
It looked like you did. Especially after the 2 mistakes that you had getting on pit road. Did that kind of light just real quick, man? Because it after that second time, it kind of looked like it lit a fire underneath of you, and you were driving a little, almost like your tail was on fire on a mission, like you were pissed. It pissed you off. I loved
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I loved it.
absolutely. I was definitely upset. I mean, the first time I didn't really, I guess Elvin told us earlier, beforehand, before the race, what the procedure was for pit. I wasn't listening, and that's on me. And I drove in there like an idiot and wrecked myself. And then the second time, I tried to get everything out of it. I wrecked myself again. So I mean, it was like I knew I had the car. It's just, especially like you said, I gotta. It's like, damn, man, I gotta clean this up and get going. So it's glad that to bring it home in second and get a stage win tonight. It's good racing after the lag sorted itself out and we got to going.
Yeah, I'm very excited to go over the points after this since Flash didn't make it. He was the points leader heading into tonight. That's
I got one back from last week.
For the second week in a row, exactly, second week in a row, the points lead's up for grabs. So and you definitely got a lot of points there. I mean, there was one stage I think that you were on the outside, and it was because of one of those pit road incidents.
The first stage I didn't get any stage points,
yeah,
and Elvin did. So I mean,
yeah.
it's gonna be close with me and Elvin.
It's gonna be
sure.
close. So we'll see once I do all that later tonight. So but yeah, it was very exciting, and you took it very well. I mean, it was like you said, it was just a classic bump, and you were definitely blocking that bottom lane there off of two. So it was something that was very likely going to happen, but either way, still a good rebound after what had happened to you last week, which was very unfortunate that you weren't able to race last week with what happened.
Yes, sir. And thank you guys, as always, for being up in the booth and broadcasting.
I appreciate it, man. All right, now let's get to the guy that I picked to win this race, Shady. You picked Mike to win. I picked Chase to win since you left him on the table for me. Thank you for that.
Oh, I was giving you the ground ball.
Whatever. Whatever you say, man. But let's get to the man of the hour here. It's your bro, Chase. Going back to back in the Phantom Racing League. He is now 2 for 2 on the year. So it was definitely a very exciting battle between you and Mike. You were basically in the spot to be in those closing laps there. Just walk me through that battle.
Ooh, it was a good race. I definitely did not have a good car tonight. I was definitely not one of the cars I would like to have in the inventory. But hey, we made it work. Still come out with the dub. I knew I had really good tire, 2-lap fresh tires than everybody, and I was really bummed that the cost came back. I really thought I was going to have a better shot at winning then than I did when the restart was coming, because I knew I had a great car. Made a lot of changes throughout the day. Got my, whatever you call this, unsponsored car dialed in for the last 15 laps.
Hold on, it does have a sponsor here. I'm trying to see what it says. Like,
it says Christian Arms.
Christensen Arms. So a shout out to them.
Yep.
Getting some Phantom Racing League coverage here tonight.
Yep. We had it dialed in for those last 15 laps. I was staying right with Mike. I knew he was pulling away. I knew we could get away from him, and they started battling back there, and I was like, yes, that's what I want. Me and Mike broke away, and it was just between us. I was in the right position. I was like 5 to go. I can't fuck this up now. Let's see, if I lose, it's because of me. And me and Mike raced public lobby the other night at Charlotte, and I run him very clean. I didn't give him a bump, no nothing. And he told me next time to be more aggressive with him on the last lap. He said he'd have done it. So I put my mind right over 3 to go. I was like, I'm gonna be more aggressive than I was the other night, and I'm gonna seal the deal.
Damn it! Why did I say that?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Well, that Chase, man, daggone, man, you, I call you the champion, dude, and you prove me right every freaking time I say that too. I was saying it before the race, man. Congratulations, dude, and they're at the I guess it was in the third stage, and it kind of dawned on me a little bit that this probably was the most patient race I have ever seen you run. I mean, I was watching you let guys just go and just kind of riding, tucking back in and riding. I mean, I know you said you had to kept on working on your car, but really saw that you had more patience, I think, than I ever seen you kind of in all the time that I've seen you run over the past year and a half or so, man. I mean, was that kind of at the spur of the moment based on your car, or was that kind of planned going in? Because I remember last week, you kind of laid back at the beginning and kind of, you know, balls to the walls there at the end, and you made it work for that win. What was kind of your thought process? I'm kind of curious on that.
I knew I didn't have a good car going in. Which comes from me. I didn't run their practice laps this week. I don't know why. I didn't really have a lot of time. I was focused on the bash qualifying, and I worked my race car a lot on that. I knew that normal draft was in this. I knew that I didn't have to have the best car to run up front to be a contender when it mattered. And the first until 30 to go, I was like, hey, I don't got that good a car. I ain't gonna force the issue none. If someone's trying to get down, I'm just gonna let it be. In the last 30 laps, I was gonna flip the light switch, turn it on, go back to fast forward, and just go on, try and get it done.
Man, I don't think anyone would fault you for working on that bash car, 'cause that's pretty much what everyone has been doing this week, since that's been the talk of the town. So looking forward to that this weekend on Saturday. That's gonna be an all-day thing. Hopefully, I can be on to broadcast it, 'cause I'm very much looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I want to at least talk about. I don't have the page up. What's next week? Next week is Indianapolis. So that's an interesting one. So that's going to be a completely different race compared to what we had just had. So what's going to be the expectation heading into there?
Like I said last week, buddy. No cockiness, no nothing for me. It's 3 letters, WIN. I'm gonna have to work this week though. As bad as it sounds, I do not have any type of car at Indianapolis. I'm gonna have to build a race car for race next week. That's hard to say. That's pretty shocking to say. Since I've had this game 4 or 5 years, but I've never tried Indianapolis. I mean, I have a setup for the road course. I don't have one for the oval. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what next week comes and see if we can't get those 3 letters WIN again.
All right, we'll see. We'll see how that is, and we'll see if any of these guys can get that WIN this weekend in the Bash, as everyone's going to have their eyes on that event. So, once again, congratulations to your bro Chase on the win, back-to-back wins in Phantom. And I guess we can now turn to another driver in this race. Came home in the 6th position, had a bit of a moment in the on one of the restarts. Our boy Elvin Priest here, and I gotta ask what everyone's thinking. What happened?
Just a full-on misjudgment. I thought I was clear. I was looking back and forth like Mach 10, and maybe I should look a little bit slower, and just made a rookie mistake.
Yeah, that's always a tough spot to be in when you're on that outside on the front row. Because, like, the first thing you really want to do when you're on the outside, a track like Chicago, where the bottom lane is the way to go, is that you really want to get down to that inside lane, otherwise you're going to get hung out to dry. So I completely understand the move. Like, that's a move, like you just gotta do when the moment's there. And we saw Mike do the same thing, like the restart before, except he made it work. So we assumed that you were trying to do exactly what Mike did, and it just was a miscalculation, unfortunately. But I get it, man. Like, you're completely vulnerable on that outside, even if you have a really fast car, which I know you did.
Car was great, I couldn't complain. Whenever it got out in front, it just took off. It's just the problem is getting up front. When you got so many cars in front of you, you gotta maneuver your way throughout the field, which I've done a few times. It's just I couldn't get it done when it really mattered. I was on the 34th bumper, trying my best to get by him, and it just wasn't happening. But I finished 6th, so at least it isn't 13th, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy about that. I was very happy when the caution came out, because I was sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, I just didn't capitalize when I should have, and expand my lead, because I would take a guess that I have the points lead after this. Yeah, I mean, my top 5 streak's over. It's very unfortunate, but just one spot away.
Oh, there you have it. Anyone got like one final word they want to get in?
Oh, I do.
Speak.
I'm ready for this damn bash to go on Saturday, boy.
Let's go. I think we all are.
I've been working on that car so damn long. I am ready, boy. I'm fired up.
Just pretty much everybody is, man. I wonder if we saw maybe just a glimpse of what we might see at the end of that bash tonight, man. Because that finally scratched an itch that I've had for a while. At the moment I saw that, I heard Bro Chase was back and join up here with Phantom, man. That was an itch that I wanted to see, was them two guys go head to head, and they were able to do that tonight. So it's like, finally that itch has been scratched, man. That was a sight to see. Man, that came right down to the wire, man. Wouldn't have it any other way in this league, brother, man. That was a hell of a time. Thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it. Privilege and honor being up here with you, Timmy, man. Thank you guys for having me.
It's a pleasure having you, and like I said, you're welcome anytime. But I do remember I did have actually one more thing to say about the race tonight. Well, you said your piece. It's my turn. All right. Because the race tonight was so action-packed, there was so much that happened. And in case anyone doesn't know, besides just commentating the races, I also run the website for Phantom Racing League. It's Phantom Racing League. You can find it somewhere on the channel page. I think it'll be on the banner. You can just click on the Wix logo. That'll take you to the website. It'll show you the points. So that's the other thing I do. I also calculate the points. But another thing I also do is I put together the highlight reels for each of these races that we do. And I'm going to tell you, you're making my life putting together the highlights for this race a living hell, because there is so much to dig through for tonight's race. So much had happened. I don't know if I'm going to have the video be short enough for it.
Yeah, I don't envy you for the. I don't. Good luck.
But stay tuned for that. It'll be up sometime. Just sometime. Eventually, it'll be up. But yeah, I do want to thank everyone for tuning in once again, and I'm sure everyone knows by now. Everyone's going to be watching the bash. Hopefully, I can be on to cover that. My Saturday schedule is looking very hazy at the moment, so we'll see how that goes.
Like I said, man, when if you get home and you got the time and you're able to, and you say, you know what, let me jump up in the booth, you just come right on in, man. Don't even think twice about it. Just come right on up in. You'll already have the invite waiting for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the seat's going to be reserved right for you, my friend. So if you can and you're able to and you want to, then just come right up on in, man. But either way, if you're not able to, I know you're going to be tuning in, man, because that is going to be one hell of a show. I'm promising you. It's going to be the race of the year.
Race of the year. It'll be probably the race of this game's entire life. Because there is so much on the line, and you do not want to miss it. But that is about all the time we have here tonight. And my goodness, I think this race went way longer than any of us really expected. So I'm going to wrap it up here once again. Thank everyone for watching. Leave a like on the stream. Click the subscribe button. Thank you. Click the subscribe button. Click that bell next to it. Ring that son of a bitch.
Yeah!
So that way you yeah! Getting excited about bells. Hell yeah, dude. But do that so that way you don't miss a race. We are live every Thursday night at not 9:05. We are 9:05 Eastern time. So
Yes.
Exactly. So yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna end it now. Thank you everyone for tuning in for the millionth time. I'm heading out. Goodbye.